Well, hey everybody, welcome to Wingman Nation. Today, I've got an opinion piece that I recently read about are we ready if we're actually pulled in, if the U.S. is actually pulled into one of the military conflicts where our men and women are actually sent in to fight? And I think it brought up some really good points. We're going to talk a little bit about that. As always, I welcome your comments and your input on that story or anything else we visit about here around this virtual campfire. So don't be bashful. And I have a little bit of wingman wisdom I'd like to share with you. But first, a message for RVers who may have downloaded my free RV report but not read it, or maybe not read all of it. Almost 2 years ago, because I saw so many people making big mistakes when they buy or sell their RV, I decided to create a very basic guide. A report, if you will, to help RV buyers and sellers avoid some of the most common mistakes that people make when they're buying or selling an RV. I mean, tips on how to avoid bad dealers and find good ones. Ways to not only save money, but prevent you from being ripped off. Now, each quarter I update the report. I do my best to make it current with whatever is going on in the RV market. With each updated RV report, it's kind of grown a little, and most people find these little nuggets of info in it that are really helpful. Now that said, I got an email recently from a viewer who watches Wingman Nation and downloaded the free RV report. I'm going to read you that email right now, and there's a reason for it. It says, Dear Mr. Warren, longtime viewers, first time to write. We watch many YouTubes and enjoy your blend of common sense advice and wit. We downloaded your RV report, enjoyed it too. We're in the market for a retirement RV. How many people are in the market for a retirement RV? I think a lot. And we're confused at how the prices vary between dealers for the same brand and model of toy hauler. Is there a way to find out the actual dealer invoice? Why don't dealers post this information? We don't want to overpay and don't know where to go to get the invoice price the dealer actually pays. It would be so much easier if the invoice was listed. Then we can offer the standard 30% off for our purchase. Are we looking at this the right way? Feel free to either write back or do a video on it. We can't be the only people who want to know about the actual dealer invoice. The Campbells, Jeff and Wanda. All right, before I respond to that, if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, I hope that you will hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Turn your notifications to on. But why do you want to know the invoice, Mr. and Mrs. Campbell? Respectfully, think about this. And the whole point of this virtual campfire, of this channel, is to hopefully give you things to think about, to help you avoid making mistakes. I think I understand why you would like to see the invoice, but would you believe an invoice? I mean, can't an invoice be faked? What do you really care about? What do you really care about? What I think you care about, what you should care about, is the out-the-door price. Not the sales price, but the out-the-door price. Speaking of that, let me go over, I had mentioned about my free RV report. This is the one that came out in April. I'm going to come up with another one. I'll release the first part of July, next month. And I addressed this. So many different things. This is not a complete, everything you need to know about RV. It is not that. It is just a high-level report, as I mentioned, a guide to help you avoid making some costly mistakes. And if you read the report, and Jeff and Wanda said that you guys downloaded my report. In the report, let me find it. There you go. New RVs out the door pricing. The number you should care about is the out the door price. That includes everything except required taxes and registration fees. Everything. Anything else the dealer charges should be considered as a part of the out the door price. It's not uncommon, listen to this, it's not uncommon for dealers to have the lowest price on an RV. Happens all the time. But by the time they add on the extended service plans, transportation fees, prep fee, blah, 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 the price can inflate $10,000 or more. Focus on the out-the-door price. The out-the-door price should be the same whether you are paying cash or financing. I'm hopeful that this makes sense. Like I said, with all due respect, the invoice doesn't matter because I'm so skeptical, I don't care what the invoice says. I want to know what I'm going to pay. That said, the RV dealers that I work with in the RV Dealers I Trust network, they do bottom line pricing. They'll give you, they'll work, there is the price. And that really is the price. Is there some negotiation? Maybe, but not a whole lot. Don't you just want the bottom line? Those dealers are, I've personally vetted them. They are among the best in the country, in my opinion. And you don't have to buy from them, but I would suggest that you at least give them an opportunity to earn your business. So Jeff and Wanda, I'm hopeful that that is good information. And remember, you've got to find the right brand of RV, but buy it from the right dealer. And links to my preferred dealers is down in the description of this video down below. All right, still ahead, I'll bring up that story that made me think about what the what if scenario would be if our military actually gets officially involved in sending troops to one of the hot zones around the world. And are we ready? But first, I want to visit with you for a couple of minutes. I want to talk to you about kids. You know, with Father's Day coming up, I have some thoughts to share to hopefully make you think. So here's the deal. Kids, kids are both little miracles from heaven, I think, and sometimes they are little devils. And I know it's always been that way, but doesn't it seem that there are so many kids nowadays that are lost? I mean, not all of them, but too many of them are lost, and I hope that makes you sad. It makes me a little bit sad. I mean, we're all so busy with our lives, and a lot of times kids, your kids, maybe your grandkids, other kids, they get lost in the shuffle of life. And in a world that never seems to slow down, where work and commitments pile up like, I don't know, laundry on a Saturday, it's easy to forget that kids need a lot more than a roof over the head and, food on the table. They need us. They do. Now more than ever, they don't need these nearly as much as they need us. Our kids, our grandkids, they grow up faster than we realize, faster than we want. And every single day, every one will never get back. As an old guy, I see the world much differently than I did as a young man. And I see that spending time with your children, even your grown children, is more important than ever. It's more important than we may realize. The time we spend with them is when they learn about life. It's about what's important. It's when we can teach them things. It's when they can learn things, when we show them things, and we help them make memories that stick with them, hopefully, the rest of their lives. I don't know, a dad's steady hand, a mama's warm hug, all of it helps kids to better deal with the insane world and everything that's going on around them. For many of us, we have worked so hard. We've been so busy that we didn't take as much time to spend with our kids as we maybe should have. For many of y'all watching this video, I hope that some of this makes sense. I also hope that you'll take the time, make the time to think of some things that you can still do with your kids or your grandkids that can make a positive impression on their lives. I don't know, playing board games, reading bedtime stories if they're still little. You know, my daughter used to say, "Hey, Daddy, tell me a story about life. Maybe a great camping trip." Now, that's a good idea. Today's kids are being pulled in a million different directions. And even if they seem to have drifted away, I say don't give up on them. Make a plan, be patient, take the time, make the time to help shape their lives. I don't care what it is. If it'll bring you and your family closer together, I mean really closer together, I hope that you'll do it. And I'm not talking about spending a ton of money either. Time. That's what your kids need, is time. They need your time. They need your attention, even if it's just listening to them. With Father's Day right around the corner, for you folks whose dad is still around, don't wonder what your dad wants. I'm going to tell you what he wants. He wants and he needs the same thing that kids want and need. He needs your time. He wants you. He wants to feel the love from you, to have a little bit of your time and attention. After all, isn't the real way we spell love T-I-M-E? All right, I'm going to go over this opinion piece. I'd like to know what you think about it here in just a minute. But first, kind of a lead up to this story. I'm with a friend of mine the other day, and he's He's a crotchety old son of a bitch like me. And we're talking about the world and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you know what? I hope we have a disaster. I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, no, I mean it. He said, that's the only way to clean this place up. It's going to be painful. We have had so much for so long. I'm paraphrasing here, but we need a catastrophe to make people grow a set. That was what he said. And I kind of tend to agree that we have, as a culture, a society, we've become soft. All of us have become soft, but especially the younger people. They have no idea the sacrifices that have been made to make their lives, our lives, so easy. And so then I saw this opinion piece, and yes, it came from The Telegraph. The Telegraph is a conservative publication out of the UK. It is, but this is an opinion piece, and I read all different kinds of things. Yes, I lean very, very conservative, but this brought up some, if you're a liberal, please bear with me around this virtual campfire. We don't have to agree on everything, but these are some thoughts that this is this guy's thoughts, Zoe Strimple, or this woman's thoughts. It says, one of the good things about being a citizen of the West is that since the last World War ended in 1945, most men's survival has not been imperiled by the need to go and fight in massive wars. We do not have to kiss goodbye to tens or hundreds of thousands of beloved sons, friends, fathers, brothers. We have a professional army. We're accustomed to relatively small casualty numbers when that army goes into combat. And bar periodic terror attacks, we're generally able to get on with the business of living miserably or prosperously, but living. Less lovely is the corollary of this comfort, the moral decrepitude and cowardice that has sunk deep into our psyches. We are too narcissistic and bored, too cosseted and ill-focused to be collectively courageous or warlike. This has been devastating for the trajectory of the whole world in general and catastrophic for the safety, security, and prosperity of the West. Do you argue with that? Even the liberals that are watching this video, do you argue? Do you not see how soft we've become? You think the world is a safer, a happier place. People like us more because we're nicer people. If we're just nice, the bad people will go away. They'll respect us and they'll treat us good because they know we like them. I don't see it that way. I want to see it that way, but I don't. This opinion piece goes further. It says, how do we get to this perilous pass? The answer is that we've spent the past decades focusing on made-up threats and burying our heads in the sand. We've elected leaders and created political and policy and educational elites who have willfully pretended that the real threats, Islamist, global jihadi movements, their regime funders in Iran, and the unvetted influx of migrants from countries steeped in their evil ethos are just the fever dreams of a racist and backward fringe. In so doing, we picked apart the rationale of robust defense, which sometimes involves the need to attack, and to die in doing so. By discrediting Western interventionism and military might, we have not made the world a nicer, cozier, more just place. We've just merely given a green light to the monsters happy to die, if it means killing more of us. Sobering, right? This story is about Israel and how Israel was attacked. I'm not, I hate war. I do, but sometimes it is necessary. Is it not? Do we just acquiesce, and if they want to come after, okay. They will never stop coming after us. This country is, as they say one time, a shining light on the hill. It's an example where everybody wants to come. If it was so bad, why don't you go back to your own country if your country's so much better? Stop trying to change this one. I do, that it's going to take a catastrophe, and I want to know what you think. It's going to take a major catastrophe. My friend said it's going to have to make 9/11 look like a schoolyard, fight. And I don't want to see that. But our young people, are they able to go fight? Our military, we've got people that can't even get in the military. They can't. Is there anything else I marked in this little story? Yeah, let me go into it, then I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to know what you think. What would happen if the West has to go to war? I mean, really go to war. Are we going to win? We don't win. We just kind of play and send over kids to get killed and make bombs and kill other people. And it's part of what's going on. And it's bull crap, at least in my opinion. You're going to fight a war, win it. Have an objective. Know where the out point is, the exit ramp is. Be willing to make adjustments, but don't carry these wars on forever. It says, will we wake up in time? We need to relearn the vital importance of the West's role, particularly that of the Anglosphere, in maintaining the balance of power that keeps us from global reversion to bloodthirsty servitude, religious mania, and authoritarianism. Yes, this is a conservative piece. Sometimes the answer is not pleasant. It's not. It's not always going to feel good. Sometimes if you're going to grow a garden, you got to weed out some stuff. You do. You got to pay attention. It's situational awareness and it's honesty. We have to self-audit. You have to stop believing in some fantasy. These college professors that say that, we're the whole problem. Those people over there aren't. We need to be open-minded and loving and accepting. Really? Well, we accept hundreds of thousands, millions of people that pour in across the border. Do you think that they have the values that principles our country was founded on? I don't. So I know I saved this for the end because a lot of you people are probably, I don't think you ought to talk about that. It's too political. I'm tired of not talking about something that it's political. Life is about choices. You can choose to step up and say something, get involved. Or you can choose to sit on the sidelines. Or you can choose like most people do, just to get along. Can't we just all get along? See where that's gotten us? I want to know what you think. Do you think that we are ready to go to war? Or we're just going to continue to send our young people over to die for something that we don't even know what we're fighting for? Just to fight. It's sad. I think it's time that the baby boomers step up. Step up. Going back to the little thing I was talking about kids. Spend time with your kids. Get them away from these things. That's hard. They didn't learn it overnight. You're not going to get them back overnight. We've got to get back on course. I mentioned taking them on a camping trip. What a clever idea, right? I mean, it's wonderful. Spend time with them. Listen to them. Father's Day's coming up. As I said, dads need the same thing kids do. They need us. They need you. They need your time. They need you to listen and your real attention. Thank you for letting me go on today. I do appreciate it. Drop a comment down below if you would. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications to all. Again, I'd love to hear where you're watching the show from. And if you have any big plans for Father's Day, I'd like to hear those as well. I'm Alan Warren, the Wingman. I encourage you to be the best wingman or best wing woman for somebody. Stand up for principles and what you believe in and stop staying on the sidelines being silent. I'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.